Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this FanttikOutdoor Zeta C10 Pro instant cabin tent. So this is provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost anything extra. So I have not opened this up yet. This will be the first time I'm setting it up. Now I have a decent amount of experience setting up tents, but I anticipate this is going to be relatively easy to set up. So it has this Explorer's Kit. Let's take a look at it. This is a thank you card, and it also has some stickers in here. This tag has some features. It says 60-second setup. Now that's going to depend on who's setting it up and the conditions, but this shows here it sleeps 10, and here it says sleeps most comfortably 5+ gear. I'm glad that they say this because typically when you see a number of people for a tent, you can divide by 2 to account for gear, and they're showing that in the tag here. And it says fits 2 queen air mattresses. Now this doesn't come with a traditional instruction manual. It has the same thing many tents are doing this day, which is to sew them into the bag so you don't lose them. I like that. So we have notes on one side. This talks about everything it comes with. Sorry about this here. So this shows the parts list, and on the other side we have instructions. So you can pause and read that if you've lost your instructions and want to read through these, but I'm just going to start putting it up, and I have a basic idea how this goes together, I think. Okay, so I have the tent set up. This has expandable poles on the sides and the top, and when you pull them, this little pin will pop out, and then when you want to retract them later, you'll push this in to retract it all. That was not too difficult. If you had 2 people, this would go even faster. Next, it wants us to clip the poles to the tent. Those were already clipped on there, but if they had come off, I could reclip them, and now it wants me to stake the tent. So there's a bag inside the tent that was wrapped up, and inside of the wrap was this is the little tent stake bag. And these are the stakes. They look like they're made of steel. They seem pretty decent. So I'll get this stake down. Now when I stake down a tent, I like to put a little bit of tension, not too much, but I want to pull on it. So I'll stake one corner and then I'll pull on it as I go to make sure it's relatively tight. But I don't want to over tighten it. So it looks like there were 5 stakes. I think there was one on each corner and one in the middle. If I find others, I'll let you know. Next we want to put the Rainfly on. It looks like it's color coded. I see a little loop on the side here. It's yellow, and I see a little black loop on that side. So I'm guessing the Rainfly is going to have those same colors. Okay, I got the Rainfly installed. I did notice one of the clips was not connected at top, so I connected that up. Now I want to stake down the Rainfly. So it has guy lines here, here, and I want those to come out at a 45-degree angle to the tent. So that's going to offer it really good support, especially if it's windy. If you look at the end here, it has an adjuster. This may be confusing if you're not familiar with them, but you see the end with the knot? If we go opposite of that, which is right here, I'll pull out on that. I'll pull out on a lot. So I pulled that out really far. So now I want to stake this here into the ground. So I'll do that. I'm going to pull this up even a little bit more. To adjust this, I'm just going to pull up on this while I hold down on this part. So I'll put a stake in here, and when I put this stake in the ground, I'm going to put it, I don't want it straight up and down, I'm going to angle it towards the tent. So you can see this guy line is more or less in line with the corner. I could probably move it over a little bit, but that's pretty good. So to adjust this, I'm going to find the line that's going straight through. So this is going through here, and it goes here. I'm going to hold on this one here while pulling up on this one. And I can slide that and tighten it. So we also have guy lines in the front and back, so I'll get those staked down. Okay, so I have the stakes installed. Next I'll install the porch. And that's the outside of the tent. Now it took a little bit longer because I had to unravel all the guy lines. Typically we'd have those unraveled already. The final thing to do now will be to put the wall in, which is obviously optional. So let's head in the tent. So here we are inside of the tent. So you can see we have windows. We have, looks like maybe kind of 6 windows because we have 1 on each side. We have 2 in the back. And the door opens up for 2 more. And then we have these vents on either side. So there's a little pouch right here. You could put a cell phone or flashlight in it. And we have another one right here. Now in this corner we have a little opening where you can run a power line. So if you're at a site with electric, you can run it through there. That could be nice if you want to power a fan or something, or a CPAP machine. Now I'm around 6 foot tall and I easily fit in the center here. Let me stand. It can get a little bit crowded towards the sides, but it's no big deal. I generally don't stand a lot in a tent unless I'm getting dressed, so I could stand towards the center. But let me get the middle part in. It's kind of hard to show the whole thing in frame, but here we have the wall. Now it is open on the top and side, so that will let air flow through, but it does give you some privacy. Now the top does have some little hooks here. You could probably put a little attic up there, or you could hang a light from the middle here. Let's tug on that. So you wouldn't want to put a super heavy light, but you could put a lantern on there to light up the whole tent, and it would light up both sides. So I really like that. Let's do another walk around on the outside. Now this does have zippers here. They feel like nice high quality zippers. Here's the spot for an outlet. Here are those vents. Now if it's a little bit colder, you could stake these closer to the tent, and if it's warmer, you could stake them out to get more airflow. Now this would be described typically as a 3-season tent. So you could be fall, summer, and spring. And here we have the back side. You can see the windows. So what I would typically do is if the sun was hitting this side, I might leave these closed, but open up all the other vents during the day so air can flow through it. And then at night, maybe even open all of them up. And here we have that porch. so you can put your dirty shoes and things on here. Now this can flop around. I don't see any stake holes for it, so if it's super windy you may want to stow that away, but if you have things sitting on it, it will keep it from blowing around. And we have the vent on the other side also. So that's the Fantik Outdoor Zeta C10 Pro Instant Cabin Tent. I really like how easy this went up. Now the bag itself is maybe just under 4 foot, so if you want to know if this will fit in the back of your trunk, it's a relatively small package. I like how much size it has. Now this does have sloped sides, which can limit some of the room towards the edges, but if you're sleeping on a sleeping bed, you have the maximum width at the bottom, so that shouldn't be bad. So if you're tall and you're dressing, you do that towards the middle, but otherwise you have lots of room in there. But those slanted sides will help it in windy conditions. It will help the wind go around the tent, so I do like the slanted sides. If you have straight sides, that can cause it to catch the wind a little bit more. So if you're to get a tent like this, I would recommend putting it up and tearing it down a couple times on your own property before you take it camping, or any tent, just to get a feel for how it works. But I think this was relatively easy to do. So if you stay after my outro, I am going to tear this down, so keep watching. But that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye. So to tear this down, I'm going to pretty much do it opposite of how I put it together.